Hi everybody. So I am really excited because I saw Beyonce's new Hold Up video and I immediately saw her eyelashes and I was like, her eyeshadow, makeup, everything. I was like, yes, that is what I want to try next. So I was going for Rihanna's work makeup live tutorial next, but then I saw this and I was like, no, I've got to do this. This is way cool because it uses, so she has, if you've seen the video, she's got bright yellow on, so go ahead and get out your bright yellow outfit because you're going to look great with bright yellow today. But what she has on is a like smoky rose color up a little bit higher above her crease, and then she's got some dark purples and some real dark black right around her eyelashes, and then some thick mascara, and then just nude lips and flawless skin. So today, of course, is the big day where all of our foundations are back for individual resale or sell. So this is it. This is our Mineral Touch Foundation. So I've already put on Divine Lotion, and then I put on the Glorious Face and Eye Primer, and you just need like a little pea-sized amount for that, and you put that on, and that's going to make a barrier between your skin and any foundations that you put on. So even though this is all natural, you don't want it to sink into your skin because then you're going to start seeing more imperfections. It's going to go into the fine lines and creases, and it's not going to look all that spectacular. So what we can do is, sorry, let me just adjust that so I can make sure I can see everybody. All right. So as you pop on, you can just hit the little heart and I'll know that you're there. So with this Liquid Touch Foundation, you just want to shake it up because it has the suspension liquid, and then it's got the minerals and pigments that are going to need to be dispersed throughout that liquid. So you want to make sure you shake it up really good, and then it's going to apply really well. Now, you can apply this with the new Liquid Touch Foundation brush, and it's a synthetic brush, so it's really nice if you have any allergies to animal fur or hair. That's a good alternative. And then there is also, you can use a natural brush, like a powder puff brush. You can use blending buds. You can use any other type of foundation brush, like a liquid foundation brush or a cream foundation brush that you have. It's really up to your preference. Today I'm going to use my big powder puff brush because it kind of gets it on quickly and all over. So, shaking it up, squeezing the eyedropper, and make sure you've got all of that stuff shaken out. And if you ever need help finding your right shade of foundation, I'd be more than happy to help you find a foundation shade. So what I do is I just drop a few drops on the brush. Let's see, I'm going to use like 5 drops today. And then you can see I have blemishes, but this does a really nice job of evening those out. So I just make sure I like get some all over with a little tapping motion. So I'm like just dabbing, and then I'm going to start blending. And like I said, I've used blending buds and other types of foundation brushes, and it's really up to you, but no matter what you use, you're going to get great coverage, especially if you're using a primer. The primer is also going to help the foundation stay in place for longer, and so if you're going into those summer months and you want to keep your foundation in place and make sure it's not going to slip around on you, then the primer is going to help you out with that. All right, so that's it. That's how it goes. You can always add a little bit more if you feel like there are certain spots or areas that you want to touch up a little bit. This is velour, and it's for light skin tones, light skin shades with neutral tones. And we have the whole spectrum now available, so just let me know if you need any help picking that out. So Beyonce is looking super flawless, so that's why this Liquid Touch foundation is perfect for this look. I'm also going to use a little bit of our Skin Perfecting Concealer. It's super opaque, and so it's going to take care of any little spaces that you want to, patch up a little bit. I'm going to use a little bit under my eyes just for, I'm going to use like a grain of rice. It's very opaque. So I'm just going to dot it right there into like a V. And then I have a little bit right there, then I'm just going to pat it in right there. Okay, and then I'm just going to pat this in with my finger actually, because I've been getting really good results with just patting this in. You can also do this with the end of your blending bud, that would work too. Our blending buds actually come with like a big one and a little one. So you can use the little one to get into those little areas. But I have just been liking the texture of when I pat it on with my fingers. So all right. And so I'm using Scarlet, the shade Scarlet. And what that does is it gives a little bit more highlight. And so it just adds a little bit more dimension. So there you go. So we're all concealered up. All good with that. And then, so Beyonce doesn't look like she's wearing a lot of blush. She looks like it's mostly just enhanced with a little bit of bronzer maybe. So I'm just going to use my same powder puff brush. I'm going to use our Beachfront bronzer. It's got two sides. This is the lightest shade. This is Sunset. It's good for light skin tones. We also have Hermosa, which is the medium skin tones, and then we have Malibu, which is the darkest. So I'm just going to use the shimmer side, and I'm just going to go right along the cheekbones, like from the top of your ear down to the corner of your mouth. And then I'm going to do just a little dab in the corners of my forehead and across the top. And then a little bit here. And then I'm going to squish the brush together and just do a little bit down either side of my nose. So overall, this is making like a 3 shape. And I'm doing just a little bit there just to get a little bit more contour. So, looking flawless. Let's get to those eyes, because that's the exciting part for me in this look. So I'm going to start off because she's got a lot of shadow on and I don't want it to crease. I'm going to use this eye primer. It's different from our Glorious Face and Eye Primer because it's slightly tinted. So you just want to put a little bit on and then just pat it on your eye. You don't want to like drag it over your eye or anything. You just want to pat it on. A little thin coat is good. You don't need anything massive. I'm going to do a little bit here on this eye. Just pat in this eye primer. And as you hop on, you can just press the little heart so we know that you're there. And if you have any questions or comments on anything or suggestions, you can just message those and I'll see them and we can talk about whatever you have on your mind. And so I've got the eye primer on. You just want to let that dry a little bit. And then I have our Addiction Shadow Palette 3, which is going to be perfect for this look. So in her hold up video, again, she's got this rosy color on the outside. She's got some dark purple and some lighter purple towards the inside, and then lots of dark black right around the eyelashes. So that's what we're going for. You might think, oh no, this is way too dramatic for me, but these purples and pinks look good on any skin tone. Beyonce has more golden tones to her skin and she looks fabulous in the purples and the pinks. And I have very light, neutral to pinkish undertones in my skin and I still look great in the pinks and the purples. So pinks and purples are actually one of the go-to colors for any eye color and any skin color. So light, dark, neutral, pink, golden. You can look good with all of these in this Shadow Palette 3. So let's start off with doing a little bit of the Tickled Pink. So I'm going to use, and you can just say hey, or you can tell me where you're from, whatever floats your boat here. So I'm going to, you can locate where the crease of your eye is by looking down just a little bit. So I'm just going to create a little bit of a haze look by going like right above the crease. And I'm using a little patting motion. And so if you're just joining us, I'm doing hold up video makeup because Beyonce is rocking that pink and purple eyeshadow, and I thought it would be fun to try to recreate that. So I'm just going to pat a little bit in. You can throw up a heart or whatever when you join us so we can see that you're there. Okay. A little bit more right there. So Beyonce's eyes are pretty almond shaped, and almond shaped eyes are like the easiest to put eyeshadow on. So, and it's also the easiest to copy because it kind of goes universal. So this is also something easy for most shapes of eyes. If you have eyes that are closer together, you want to make them look a little bit farther apart, you can concentrate the darker color on the outside and lighter color towards the inside. Otherwise, just follow along. So that was Tickled, and that's an Addiction Shadow Palette 3. And then I'm going to go for this color Determined here, which is very light, but it has just a little bit of pink and purple to it to be mauve-y, and I think that's going to be a good base for the lid. So I'm going to just pat that in place. Also, using the eye primer on your lids is going to be really helpful for conserving product. You don't have to use nearly as much, and you're going to get more of a vibrant color to your eyeshadow. So they're going to look like what they look like in the palette instead of being muted or just not as sparkly if they have any shimmer to them, or look kind of funky if they're matte. Okay, so we've got, this is Determined on the lids, and then I'm going to go for Cheeky, which is this dark shimmery purple. Now I don't think hers is quite shimmery, but it could just be the lighting, but I really like this one, so we're going to go with it. And I'm just going to pat a little bit of that towards the outer edge of my eye over here and over here, and I'm going to leave this lighter as almost a highlight to give it a little bit of dimension without it being too shimmery. So I'm going to pick up just a little bit of the Cheeky, and I'm going to go right on the corners, and it's okay if you get like extra outside. We can clean that up in a little bit. And we're going to blend all this together so it's not going to look as patchy. And you can apply these shadows wet or dry. I use dry mostly because I'm using the primer, and I think that tends to work pretty well for me, but it's up to your preference. Put a little bit back here. Okay. That's looking good. I think I need a little bit more right here because when I have the black, I don't want it to look totally black. I still want to have some of that purple look to it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and blend a little bit of this out so I don't have any harsh lines, and so I'm going to actually just take off a little bit of that right there, and otherwise we're good. So I'm just using a fluffy brush. You can use a shader brush or something like that. You just want something fluffy, and you just want to go side to side, little windshield wiper motions. And then I'm going to blend in this darker purple. And if you take off a little bit of the eyeshadow as you're blending, you can just pat a little bit more back on, which is what I think I'm going to do because I really want to amp up that pink. But you always want to blend because you don't want to have any harsh lines that take away from the eye effect. And what she's got going on here is almost like a smoky eye look. Okay. Blend a little bit right there. Okay, so I think we're good there, but I want to add a little bit more pink because she's definitely got a concentration of pink right there. So I'm just going to pat a little bit more of that in the side. I have to confess, I don't own anything bright yellow, so I'm going with black because that's kind of my go-to. Blend this out a little bit more. Okay, I hope y'all are checking your pictures of the video. You can just Google hold up, and she's got bright gold yellow dress and rockin' pink and purple eyeshadow. Alright, so now I'm going to use our Precision Eyeliner Pencil in black, which is it's called Perfect. These are the best eyeliners I have ever tried. I never used to like to wear eyeliner because I could never get it to go on smooth and it was always tugging. These go on so super smooth and they don't go anywhere once you get them on. They seriously do not budge. They don't wipe off. You don't get any weird, smudging throughout the day. So these are a must. They are like absolutely by far the best I've ever used. So pardon me, I'm going to try to put this on with a little mirror here. Okay, so I always start in the center. And hers is pretty smudgy. It's not going to be like that perfect wing look. So you don't have to be perfect here. You can kind of just use a lot of short little motions. And I'm just going to go slightly out of the corner of my eye, but I'm not going to do any wing out here. And then I do the center. Now, having so much dark black eyeliner around your eye is going to make it look intense, but it's also going to make it look a little smaller. So if you already have small eyes that you don't want to look any smaller, you're going to want to keep the dark eyeliner to the outside corner of your eye and use much less or none on the inside. If you have a lot of wrinkles to your eye, you can also do like this. And then I'm going to get the lower. And I'm not going to be super precise here because I'm going to go back in with a black eyeshadow, which is also an Addiction Palette 3. To enhance like that smoky, smoldering eyeliner look. Okay, I gotta get my mirror out again because I can't see that close. Any questions? We have 10 different colors of these eye pencils, so you can get even more creative. And if you mess up these lines on this look, it's not going to be a big deal. So if you're not used to wearing eyeliner, this is like a perfect way to start. See, I've got like some not perfect lines that aren't going to be a big deal at all because we're going to go in and go over it with the black Irate eyeshadow. So I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to use, actually, I'm going to use a little bit different brush here. Let's see, where is that one? I'm actually going to use the cream shadow brush because it's got a long fine point and it's not quite as stiff as a shader or a liner would be. So I'm going to use that and just go over that black eyeliner. So I'm using Irate, which is this one. This is also on palette 2, which has more of the silvers. So you can see that just kind of amps it up even more. Gives it like that smoky, smoldering look. Yes, that is exactly what she's doing here. I like this. Okay. So, just gonna fill in this over here. And this is a great way too if you have issues with, you know, like it looking Morse codey. This is a great way to get in between those lashes because the little brush hairs will carry the pigments farther. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to shoot them here and I can see them on the little message board that comes up. You can also just give me a thumbs up or hearts as you join us. So this is what we've got going on so far. So I think that is almost like spot on. We just need some fabulous eyelashes and some eyebrows. I'm just brushing away some extra shadow that I have there. So let's see. Let's do our mascara. So I am going to use the 3D Fiber Lash Mascara, and this is a must. Once I tried this, I really have not used any other brand. So you get huge lashes. They look like extensions. They're going to give you that big lashy look without it being glue in your eyeball, which we don't like. So I'm going to go with the gel first. So you always want to apply the gel first. So I just kind of comb it on gently, just like mascara. But I kind of just want to make sure that I've got the tips covered because I'm going to follow this up with the lash, with the fibers. And so those are going to cover the wet gel. All right, and so then I'm going to get the fibers while that's still wet, and I'm going to just gently place those onto the wet gel. And you want to just make sure you kind of wing that out on the side because that's going to enhance your lash look. It's going to make them look even longer and fuller. And then I'm going to do the bottom. And put the fibers on the bottom. I'm just going to place them on like that. And then we're going to seal it on with one more coat of the transplanting gel. And you just want to make sure you have a good, healthy coat on top to seal them all on so that you don't have any flyaways or drop-offs that didn't get stuck to that first coat. You can see I'm kind of using a little bit of a wiggle motion. if you don't use that third coat of the sealing gel or the third step of gel, fibers, gel, then you're going to get the flyaways and you're going to get the fibers dropping. So you want to make sure that you always do that. Don't forget, which is hard sometimes when you're getting ready in the morning with a bunch of people running around. But look at that. I mean, look at the difference. I mean, there's nothing that even remotely compares. So let's do the other eye. You can see how okay, so I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to wing out the edges, wiggle to make sure that all of the lashes are getting coated to the very ends. And this is the transplanting gel. Then I'm going to do the fibers next onto the wet transplanting gel. Oops, forgot to do the bottoms. I'll have to do this next. Make sure you just swing that out a little bit on the edge. And you can see it's like, it really has the look of false eyelashes without having all that trouble. These are ophthalmologist approved. They're naturally based. This is a beeswax based gel, and the fibers are made out of all natural plant fibers, cellulose. And so you're not going to be putting anything in your eye that's going to be damaging. It's not going to cause allergies, and it's super easy to apply. And so it's so fun to try. This is a good gift for anybody too, in case you're looking for last minute Mother's Day gifts. These are fun because, I mean, everybody wants longer eyelashes. I don't know anybody who says they don't. So, so we've got the eye makeup going, and we're just going to fix up those brows, do the lips, and then we're done with our hold up look. So let's see. I don't know, has anybody tried the Brow and Proud kit? I am loving it. It comes with, now, it comes with even extra stuff. And it's only for the next 2 weeks. So you get a liner, you get a brow gel, you now get a brow comb, you're going to get lip stain samplers, and you're going to get free eyebrow stencils and a highlighting powder, a whole pigment powder to highlight right under your eyebrows there. So everything you need to make your eyebrows look fabulous. So I'm going to use the comb to brush up my eyebrows. And then I'm going to use the liner. So I'm actually going to be using dark. I like the dark because I feel like it has a little bit of a cooler tone than the medium, but it's totally up to personal preference. If I was going to be filling in quite a bit, I would be using the medium because I'm not going to want it to be too dramatic on my face. But we have light, medium, and dark. I just use short little motions. You can see this is a twist up, very fine, super precise. So you're not going to get any, real thick lines. It makes everything look very natural and just kind of enhances what you have rather than it looking like, plasticky. And so I just kind of fill in, some people draw a really precise line across the bottom, but for me, for everyday wear, I don't usually do that. But again, it's totally up to personal preference. And then I'm going to do the other side. And so you can see it just adds a little bit of dimension. It adds a little bit of extra where I'm missing pieces. And so I'm just going to do that again. I'm just going to comb with little short strokes. so that they look more natural, I go up here and then to the side once I get this far. And then I just come down with these strokes. All right, then I'm going to use the brow gel. And if you've never used a brow gel, I never had, this is an absolute must too. This is, it has, like our mascara, it has the fibers in the gel, so it's going to beef them up just a little bit. And the serum, the Uplift serum is in the gel, and so it's going to actually improve the condition of your eyebrows, and it's going to keep them in place, and so it's going to kind of protect that filling that you just put in. So, win-wins all around. And I use medium in the brow gel, so I get a little fancy. But the kits, they come with the same colors, so you don't have to worry about trying to decide what to do. It'll come with either light brow gel and brow liner, or medium or dark. The light is very light. It's for very extremely blonde or strawberry blonde or red-haired hair colors. It looks best for that. And then medium is more like your brownish medium tones, and then the dark is almost black. I mean, you could go with really dark brown hair to black, or if you're like me, you like to have it, you know, just a little bit darker. I use the dark. So we've got all of our looks in place, and so I'm just going to finish off. She has very, very neutral sheer lips, almost like she's just wearing chapstick. But my lips are a little uneven toned, so I'm going to just do a little bit of our Pouty lip liner. It's the exact same as our eyeliner, except that it's lip colored. And so this is Pouty. It's the lightest one. It's very neutral. And so I'm just going to put that on. The great thing about these is that they do not smudge either. So it's a great way to add a little bit of dimension if you're just putting it under a lipstick, so your lips look a little more sculpted. Or you can wear them all alone, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill in with the lip liner. Another great idea for this look would be well-to-do lipstick in our Opulence lipsticks. It's very, has a little bit of shimmer to it, but it's a very nude color. And it looks actually great on a lot of skin tones. If you're super fair like me, I don't know. I like just a little bit more pink with mine, but it kind of depends on your style and everything else you have going on. All right, so like that, and then I am going to just top it off with just a dab of liquid lip gloss because I wear this all the time. All right, so that was Luxe. It's kind of a nude brownish color. And there you go. I think we got it, ladies. I think we did it. I gotta go find something yellow gold to put on, and I'm gonna have total hold up body soon, I'm sure, right? Gotta get some strappy black bras to show off as well. So I've got a lot of things to do today, but I hope you enjoyed doing Beyonce's Hold Up Makeup Eyes. And if you are looking to do that for yourself, you have just got to get yourself Addiction Palette 3 and Liquid Touch Foundation and the mascara, the 3D Fiber Lash Mascara, and our eyeliners. And those are the basics, and you can kind of make do with the other stuff. But those things, I feel like you need a flawless complexion that's glowing, doesn't look like you're wearing cakey makeup, and this palette does everything. And the eyeliners, you gotta go with. So, love you ladies. Thanks for watching.